Today, I want to talk about a powerful tool every entrepreneur and professional should master: storytelling. Specifically, I want to talk about business storytelling. And so you may ask why. Well, because stories, they engage people. They create connections, build trust, and ultimately they drive people to take action. So in this video, I want to walk you through some effective business storytelling and show you how to craft stories that will resonate with your customers and your clients. So why does storytelling matter so much in business? We're all bombarded with information, ads, pitches, and emails every day. But what is the one thing that cuts through the noise? A good story. I like it. We love stories. We watch it in TV, film. Stories, they capture our attention because what do? They engage both our logic and our emotions. And that's very powerful. A well-crafted story doesn't just engage, it builds a connection. And when a client, customer, or collaborator feels connected, they're more likely to trust you, remember you, and act on what you're asking. Next, let's talk about what is the structure of a great story. Well, if you're new to storytelling, here's a simple framework that you can follow. Think hook, challenge, solution, and impact. So let's start with the hook, number one. The hook is our opening line. It's what grabs attention and it makes your audience want to keep listening. It could be a question or a surprising fact or even a bold statement. Second, what is the challenge? This is the problem or the obstacle. Every good story always has a challenge or a problem, and that's what keeps it interesting, and it also keeps it relatable. Third, what is the solution? Now we represent the solution. We have the solution to their problem. This is where your product or your service and your approach or your unique perspective is going to help and solve that problem. Last, impact. What is the takeaway? The change that your story leads to. This could be a lesson learned or the benefits your solution provides. Now, before I get to the types of business stories, be sure to download my free business checklist. Yes, it's 100% free. And it's helpful if you feel stuck about how to start an online business. You know, it has kind of like a little checkbox. You can kind of check it off as you go. I'll put it in the comments. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Now that we have the structure, let's go over the 3 essential types of business stories you should have in your toolbox. The first one is going to be the origin story. And what is the origin story? Your origin story, it explains how your business idea got started, how it came to be. It shows us your why, so to speak, or your mission. And it gives your client and your customer a reason to support you. People, they love knowing about your background. It helps them see your journey and your purpose. They love a good story. Second, what you want to do is have a client success story. A client success story is very powerful. They let the potential client that you're trying to target see the benefit of working with you in a real life example. So think of these as a testimonial, kind of like in story form. You want to describe your client's challenge and your solution and the impact it had. If you sell a product or service, then you want to describe how your customer felt about the product and how satisfied they are, how much they like it, and complimented what they needed it for. And if you sell a product and not a service, then describe how the customer felt about the product and how satisfied they are and how it made them feel or how it complemented something that they needed for a big, important event. Next is going to be your vision story. A vision story, it kind of paints the picture of what you're working towards and is really aspirational, and it gives people something to believe in. This type of story, it can be very motivating if you're working more like, say, with a team or partners, because it creates a sense of shared purpose. Last is crafting the compelling story. Let's move on to how we're going to do that, right? Well, here are 5 storytelling methods that can make your stories compelling and interesting. Number 1, you want to use specifics. Make it real. Details are going to be your friend. Specifics make stories feel real and relatable. You might want to mention names if you can, dates or places if appropriate. When you give a story specifics, your audience can almost kind of picture themselves in the narrative, kind of like when you watch a movie or read a good book. Next, you want to create an emotional arc. Emotions are key, and Good stories, they take the listeners on an emotional journey. So you want to highlight moments of conflict, triumph, or insight. There are many ways to connect with people that way. And then you want to be authentic, right? Authenticity resonates. People can tell when a story feels forced. So you want to be honest, you want to be real, and let your unique voice come through. Don't be shy about it. Lastly, also, let me just say, keep it simple. You know, sometimes we have a tendency to do too much. You don't want to do that. It's best to keep your story focused and maintain one idea and avoid overloading with too many points or distractions. And then you want to end with a takeaway. A story needs a clear takeaway. And what's the message that you want your audience to remember? Is it how they felt? Do they feel joy or comfort? Or is it to be motivated? Are they going to feel motivated? So you want to make sure it's easy to understand that and that it's memorable. So let me give you some examples of some effective business storytelling in action. So let's say we're going to go with an origin story. For that, you could imagine, say, an eco-friendly product company, right? Their origin story could be talking about the founder's commitment to sustainability and how they wanted to create products that didn't harm the environment, right? So by sharing this purpose, they're already instantly connecting and resonating with people that are environmentally conscious. So those are going to be their customers. And it's very clear that story tells them exactly what they're looking for. Another example is a client success story. For a business consultant, a client success story would focus on how you helped a struggling company turn things around by implementing something efficient for them or a strategy. And you'll want to detail the specific struggles that your client had and then how they transformed, the results that help them as a result of you, and those benefits of hiring you as a consultant. Last is a vision story. So let's use a tech startup, right? They may have a story about how creating technology that makes everybody's life easier. And by sharing the vision of that, the startup, it invites their clients, collaborators, and potential employees to join in building the future that they're working towards. So that's a very powerful story that everybody can get on board with and kind of imagine. So you want to put your story into an efficient way that people can resonate with. Once you create your story, you need to practice and share it. Don't be shy. Try telling it to maybe some friends or someone that you trust or your team and ask for feedback. And you want to look for points where maybe people feel particularly engaged, because then you know it's working, or if they have questions. And you can always change your story as often as you need or tweak it until you feel comfortable. Share your story everywhere. Put it in your about page if you can, in your pitches and social media, even in product description if it makes sense. Because the story, you want to weave it in wherever you can to as many aspects in your brand as possible. Ultimately, you want to remember that storytelling is a skill that can transform your business by building trust, creating connection, and inspiring people to take action. So now it's your turn to try and craft a story and share it. Let me know in the comments if you've used storytelling or if you've thought about it but haven't quite tried it, or you haven't developed one yet, or you just think that it's pointless altogether, and that's fine. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.